everyone, in today's video I'm going to be making a background changer with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So this is how it works. So when we open the page, it'll tell me that the background color is white, or 255, 255, 255. And the button, when I hover over it, it has a smooth animation. And when I click it, it changes the background. And it also tells me what color the background is. Okay, so I've already created my index.html, styles.css, and app.js file. And I've also linked them to my HTML. Once you're done that, you can get started with the project. Okay, so what we first want to do, we want to make a container for a button and our text. So I'll create a div, and it's going to have a class name of container. Then inside of here, I'm going to add another div. This is going to be the text. And then I'm going to add a button. This is going to be the button that changes the color of the background. So class input, I'll call it. That's all we need for the HTML. Pretty simple. Now let's go to the styles.css. We're going to first select all elements with the star. So every element will have a margin of 0 and a padding of 0. Then let's select the body. The body is going to have a width of 100%, a height of 100%, and yeah, that's all the body has. Now let's start styling the container. Okay, so the container is going to have a position of absolute. The top is going to be 50%, left 50%, so it's going to be in the middle of our screen. So now if I save that and I open it up, okay, so I've opened it up. So now it's not showing the button. Oh, there it is. It's so small. I can't even see the button. That's how small it is. Because I forgot to put text in it. I'll type in random color. And then this is just going to be a placeholder text, RGB, just say 0, 182, 172, 720, 726 or something, 126. Okay, there. So now this is what it's going to show me. For some reason, it's a really small. Oh, okay, there we go. Now it works. So when we centered the container, it's not actually centered. It's off center. Center is about here, but it's over here. So to fix that, we go into the styles, and then we type in transform, translate, negative 50%, and negative 50%. And that should make it center. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to style the button. So the button was called input. So dot input, it's going to have a padding of 10 pixels, background color aqua, border none, outline none, and it's going to have a transition of 500 milliseconds. You'll see why we need that in a few seconds. So now we got our button. Well, when we hover over it, there's nothing. I want to make it look a bit better. So type in dot input hover. So when we hover over the button, do something. So I'm going to change the background color to aqua, but it's going to be a bit darker. To do that, if you're in VS Code, I hover over this this square, and then I can change the RGB level. There. So if I save it and then refresh it, okay. Now if I click it, and now if I hover over it, it has a smooth transition. That's why I put in this transition 500 milliseconds, so that when we hover over it, it's a smooth transition. And then I'm going to change the color to white, because you can't really see the color. Now you can. Now let's style the text. That's the final thing we're going to style. So text is just going to be, it's going to have a font size of, let's say 100 pixels. Ooh, that's too big. 50. 20? 20 is okay. And then I'm going to do text align center. Oh, center. There we go. It should. Okay, so it's not aligned center, and that's because the container, I need to change the width of the container. I'll just put it, let's make it 100%. Okay, so now this button is all the way over here. So I'm just gonna position absolute left 50%, transform translate negative 50%. There we go. Now it's in the center. And now even if we change the screen size, it'll still be the same. So now we're gonna do the JavaScript. Final part of our code. Okay, so now let's do the JavaScript part. So first, what we want to do, we want to create some variables. The first variable is going to be for the button. Button is equal to document query selector dot input. Okay, I'm going to copy that, change this to text dot text. There, and then one more variable. We're going to create an array. Const colors is equal to. We're going to copy this array. So I'm going to put this array in the description. So I'm going to copy that, paste it in. Do that. Okay, there we go. So that's the array. So we got all of our variables. Now we want to add an event listener to the button. So it's just listening for events. So button dot add event listener. It's listening for when we click the button. So in here we're going to add an arrow function. Okay. So in this block of code, in this function, we're going to figure out the length of the array. So console.log array, colors.length. So now if you go here, click this. So the length is 280, says. Wait. So the length of the array is 280. So document.body.style.background color. So we're going to pick a random number from the array colors. So math.random. So we're basically picking a random number from 0 to 280. Okay. Also what we want to do, so once we click it, it should change the color of the background. Yep. So now what we're going to do, we're going to change the text too, so that it matches the background, matches the color. So text.innerHTML is equal to I'll just copy this, is equal to document.body.style.background color. That should be everything. So now I'm just going to change the RGB here. The default color. So I'm gonna remove this RGB here. So now I'm gonna refresh. Okay. So now when I click it, it'll tell me a random RGB. So this color is this background. So if I test this out, one sec. Wait, let me try. So background color, white. So what's the RGB for this? Okay, so 255, 255, 255. So I'm just going to put in RGB, 255, 255, 255. There. That's all there is to it.